Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's me, it's Ryan. I'm joined with the other Ryan, and I may as well just address the elephant in the room, and I may as well get into the topic of today. But with also saying an apology for not having any videos up over the weekend. I could have made a match review, I could have done a vlog of sorts, I could have spoke a bit about things yesterday, but the commitment to watching Celtic with the supporters bus and drinking in the pub got the best of me, and I couldn't get the video up. There was just no way of it happening. So I do apologise. I know a lot of people get a little bit ticked off when that happens, but it was the first time I've been at Hampden in a couple of years, Ryan. I think I was entitled to a wee drink or two, you know?
That's it, mate. You're always allowed a wee drink. I had a wee drink as well. If you can probably hear from my voice, I'm still getting over Saturday's antics before, during, and after the game. But I'm feeling good. Feeling really good, mate.
Some weekend, and we've got a lot to talk about. This
What
is
a
just
weekend.
what a weekend. There's so much we can break down and involve in this video. I'm sure we'll kind of touch on every sort of possible avenue. But it's a big week for Celtic. Off the back of a big weekend, of course, we head to Germany. Some of us actually do head to Germany. I'll be flying out tomorrow. I'm away over to Cologne for the week to go and watch Celtic play Leverkusen. So that's a big game on Thursday. It's the 5th game of the Europa League group. We've got a big game at the weekend as well, which we'll touch on later in the week. But in saying that, with me, Germany, it's a big week for the channel because there won't be a normal podcast. There won't be the kind of normal content. It might be a little bit different. It's going to be a bit of a learning curve for us all. So I'm looking forward to maybe doing something new, something fresh. But the podcast will be sorely missed, Ryan. I'm sure you'll be missing me for the week, won't you?
I will, certainly will, mate. I'm sure we'll be speaking numerous times over the course of the next couple of days anyway, so it's all good. But hopefully when we're back doing the podcast, it'll be worth... we'll have loads of stuff to talk about, loads of good stuff, hopefully.
I don't know how your voice is worse off than mine because you're not even one of the snout. You know, you don't you sound like you've smoked about 60 a day, my man.
No. It might have been the obviously the Hampden toilets are the worst designed things ever.
Yes,
yes.
yes.
And the smoke that I would have got out of there was incredible. Like, I don't even know what I was walking into, honestly.
The combination of the second-hand smoke and the constant stream of abuse towards Nick Walsh, you know, that is really took a toll on you, son. I don't know how, like, have you seen that video of me in the bus singing the song with the Ange Postecoglou? But I look as though I'm about to burst, man. I'm bright red. I'm surprised my voice is still here right now, but it seems to be doing something better than yours.
You're like Alan Brazil, a wee bit skinnier than Alan Brazil, I'll say. But...
thanks, mate. Cheers. Right, let's talk about the weekend then. Let's go on to talk about all of that because that's what we're basically here to do. We're here to have a little bit of a catch-up and a sort of, I don't know, what would you call that? A Monday supplement or something instead of a Sunday supplement. We're here to just break it down.
You get Sunday service, Monday, people use Monday motivation, but I don't know if that really works in this.
Well, whatever it is, it's a Monday morning chat anyway.
It's a Monday to be happy. Weekend. Well, it's a good Monday. It's a good Monday.
Yep. But yeah, Ryan, so Johnson, they put up a challenge for us. It was a game that they didn't make easy. We knew that was going to happen. You know, we've seen teams really make Celtic work hard this season with that sort of low block, with that defensive ability that Celtic sometimes find it a bit hard to break down. But we managed to do that. We found our goal. We walked away the winners from the game. And yeah, the game altogether over the 90 minutes, for the neutral, it might have been a very, very poor game to watch. It wasn't the most of entertaining spectacles, but... for a Celtic fan, you're talking about a win in the semi-final, a place in the final, and suddenly Ange Postecoglou, who's been here 3-4 months, is in the same amount of cup finals as what Steven Gerrard was over the course of 3 years, Ryan.
There you go. It's shown it's a really good appointment. He's got that winning mentality, obviously, with the players. The players are loving it. The game wasn't great at the weekend at all. It was a bit of a slog, especially the first half. I think it was rubbish up until about the 67th minute. See when the Bertiol tribute came on.
It kind of spurred the team on a little bit, didn't it?
It definitely did, yeah. And it shows you just how important fans are for the whole makeup of Celtic. That once that tribute was made, then it felt like it galvanised the team and we pushed on and got the win. But I thought there was a couple of really good performances. I know we'll probably push on to it later. Jota again, player of the month for October. What a player. Juranovic, what a player. Other guys like Carter Vickers, even Stephen Welsh was having a great game until he got assaulted. That should have been a red. But all in all, it was a really good result. You can't complain. We're through to a final, and just through his first final as Celtic manager. Hopefully it's not his last. I don't think it will be. So all is well, all is good, and we'll meet Hibs in the final.
Yeah, it was just being back at Hampden. I touched this at the start of the video. Being back at Hampden for the first time, it was a great. I hate Hampden as a stadium. I just wish it
So that
was a better sort of design stadium. But what I do enjoy is the day out, and what I do enjoy is what the Celtic fans make of Hampden, and we always make it a cracking atmosphere. And as you said, from the 67th minute onwards, it felt like that brought a lease of life into the game. It really pushed Celtic on. They fed off that energy that we provided, and those tributes to Bertie Auld, and it was fantastic. That whole day, I left Hampden after the win thinking to myself, I'm so fucking happy to be back here. And that's something I don't say often being at Hampden, but we've picked up where we left off. I put up a tweet after the game, and I actually got it wrong in the tweet because I forgot we played at Murrayfield, so I'll correct myself on video right now. Bertie Auld used the quote that we treated Hampden as like a training ground because we visited it so often. That is now 16 out of 16 of their last visits to Hampden Park. Celtic have walked away the winners. An incredible record. I thought it was 17 out of 17, but I forgot we played Hearts at Murrayfield, so 16 out of 16. And the fact that that's the record number one is just incredible, but it feels like we've just picked up where we left off. That year that we had away from the grounds, take it away for a moment, and I'm not saying just disregard that happened. It happened, we acknowledge that. That was there. But I walked away from Hampden thinking to myself, we're back in business, baby. Walking away for Hampden, the winners, with that party sort of atmosphere. It just felt like the Celtic of old before the COVID came in, right?
And there was a great atmosphere outside the stadium as well. When I was walking to the pub from Hampden to the pub, the place was absolutely bouncing. You had different sections of people, singing different songs. Like, obviously, we didn't have the fans last season, but it wouldn't have happened if we were playing the way we were. That sort of joyous atmosphere. Seems as if everybody's on the same boat again very quickly, and you've got to give credit to Ange and the players for doing that, because all of a sudden, I feel like we've got a team back, which is absolutely brilliant. Couldn't say that last season. Last season was a disaster, but we're definitely on the right path, and we're ahead of schedule as well, I would say.
With last year being a disaster, it also felt like, as you said, we've got our team back. It felt like the team was ripped away from us. It felt like it wasn't Celtic. It felt it was a big part of our life was taken, not just because we were playing poorly, but the antics that were coming alongside it. But now, as you said, we seem to be all in the same boat. We all seem to be rowing in the same direction. And I'm just in love with the team right now. I'm in love with Ange, Postecoglou, and everything that's going on. And look, I want to make one point abundantly clear before, I know there'll be Rangers fans listed in, because we're going to talk about who we meet in the final probably, because that's the whole point in this. I know there'll be Rangers fans listed. I want to make one point abundantly clear. This isn't me getting over my head and me coming out and saying at this point in time, we're going to go and win the treble this season. Everything's fine at Celtic. And, there's a lot. This is, once again, I'll reiterate a point I've constantly made. One game at a time. For all we know, we go to Hampden next month and Hibs beat us in the final. Then you're back to kind of square one, aren't you? So it is about a game at a time, but it's about enjoying it at a game at a time as well. And that's, I think, what the Celtic fans are doing right now. No one's coming out and saying the treble's ours and we're going to win the league and this, that, next thing. Some people might, okay. But what we're saying on this channel, and I think what the majority of my comment section will say, is enjoy it. And celebrate these moments. Celebrate when your rivals get papped out the cup and you're in the final. Because that's what football's all about. And I'm absolutely buzzing that off the back of the weekend. I'm buzzing to have Celtic back in full flow. It's just a beautiful sight. But there's one guy we need to talk about in particular. We're going to talk about a few players, as you said. We want to talk about Jota. We want to talk about maybe even the likes of Carter Vickers. But one guy who made the difference in the game, Ryan, the man who scored the goal, the super sub, James Forrest, he is back from his injury and he scored the winner. Another big goal in the history of James Forrest at Celtic. Is that what he needed, Ryan? Is this the kind of confidence boost Forrest needed coming back from injury? That's huge for him, isn't it?
Absolutely massive. The past couple of games, when he's came on, he hasn't looked really match fit at all. Obviously, that 2-week break would have really, really helped him getting working with the manager, because obviously he wasn't an international break.
Yep.
It's great to have him back. He came on, he made the difference, as he does in big games. Forrest is a big game player. This is what he's done his whole career, or the latter stages of his career, last 3, 4, 5 years. He's been a big game player. He's done it at Hampden more often than not, which is absolutely brilliant. It'll do him the world of good for his confidence as well, and it'll work in both ways, because it'll work for Forrest's confidence, but it will also give Abada a kick up the backside that I think he needs as well, because I thought he was pretty anonymous in the game. He didn't really get involved in the game at all. So it's really good that sort of position, there's competition for that place now, and I think that will spur on the both of them to do well in the team. And competition's only good for the club and only good for the team.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people have been bringing up sort of like issues with Abada and all the rest of it. I still want to stick to the point now. Let's be serious here for a moment. He's only 20-year-old. Let's just look at it. He's still growing into this team as much as the next guy. I think you've got to have a little bit of understanding and patience alongside him. But I do understand that fans are frustrated. He hasn't performed maybe as well as he did when he first broke into the squad. And that's okay, because, you know, now we have a player like James Forrest who can hopefully come in and try and spur him on. And it, as you said, Ryan, I think it does work both ways. But I think that goal is huge in so many ways for Forrest, because he really needed that. I said after the last game, I think it was right before the international break, maybe it was the game before that, I can't remember. Forrest came on, he came off the bench, and I remember saying to someone, I was like, Forrest doesn't look the same. And I know he was just back from an injury, and a long injury. Yeah, Ferencvaros. I was like, I know that he just came back from injury, and I know that he was a long one at that, but I was looking at him and I was going, that doesn't look right. But to see him score the goal in what is being dubbed controversial manner, it's great. Do you know, honestly, seeing the ground at the moment the goal went in, Ryan, me and Kieran were sitting together, obviously, me and Kieran Auld, and both of us struggled to register that was actually a goal, because we thought the referee was going to give a penalty. So it was
going to give a penalty.
So we, especially Kieran, I think I grasped it a bit quicker than Kieran. I think I understood it was a goal, but the ball hits the back of the net, and Kieran thinks that the refs gave the penalty, and Kieran's turning around to me and he's like, fuck's sake, a bit much for a penalty with the celebrations. And I'm like, fucking look, Forrest is running towards us. He's like, Christ, and Kieran never really realised it was a goal. But there you go, it's the goal that got the win, and it's what sends us through to the League Cup final, Ryan. And I mean, imagine Ange wins a trophy already. I mean, as I say, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I don't want to say that the game's done, but Hibs is a game we can favour our chances in. We've already beat them we have beat them this season, haven't we? We played them, didn't we? Aye, we did. We've already beat them this season. Yep, we already beat them this season. We're on a very good run of form. I just, you know, if Ange was to go and win that, Christ, the critics who were all out to get him, including some Celtic fans, including ourselves, you must be loving the thought of it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things he mentioned in his Australian interview as well, that he loves the pressure. He's wanted a job like this ever since he had the Australia job, that he wanted a job that all eyes are on him to deliver. And it shows you, it's a measure of the man, that he's not shrinking under pressure. He's becoming an even bigger presence. Look at the response after the game. He's telling the fans to sing louder, his name louder. See, this guy was, he's got the right stuff to be Celtic manager. He's just got the confidence, and he's got the self-belief that he can do it. If he can win a trophy next month and get off the mark, when it took Gerrard 3 years to win a trophy at Rangers, if it takes him 6-7 months, I think it will be, that'd be absolutely incredible. I mean, I absolutely adore the guy, I'll be honest. The guy just, there's something about him that just resonates with me. I can totally get behind this guy. He's absolutely brilliant. He's good in press conferences. I love the way his team's playing. He's more entertaining than Rodgers' football. Yes, the results haven't maybe been as good as Rodgers. In fact, they definitely weren't, because he went invincible in his first season. But there just seems to be this enjoyment watching Celtic that I just did not have last season. I feel like I've got my club back, which is absolutely brilliant.
I want my club back as well. That's all I can think of there as you say that.
I'm just absolutely buzzing. I absolutely love Ange Postecoglou. I love everything he's doing just now. And I think the board would be mad not to back this guy in January, because I think the writing's on the wall. I think the pendulum is swinging already, and I think we need to capitalise on this.
So we're hearing a lot of the whole, you know, we got through, and obviously we'll come on to talk about who the final is, and the final being set next month. But hearing a lot of this whole, we're that bad and we're still 4 points clear. It shows, you know, Celtic didn't get off to a great start. The pendulum is swinging, and you know, I've came on this channel so many times over the past 18 months, and do you know what I've done? I've sat down, Ryan, and you've seen it firsthand. I've sat down on the podcast, I've sat down on the channel so many times. I've said, I'll be fair and I'll be honest in what I'm saying. And I have been fair and I've been honest. And I've been honest when Rangers have been better and Celtic have been poor. But I would be lying if I wasn't honest right now and say the pendulum is swinging. There's one team in Glasgow right now who are riding a wave of positivity, and it doesn't matter that one's 4 points clear at the top of the table. Right, as Ryan lets the dug out the room, desperately wanting to get away from my point here. I think that, you've got to be fair and honest, and you've got to be realistic when saying the pendulum is swinging, the confidence is shifting. There is one team in Glasgow, despite where we are in the league tables, of who's got the more, feel-good atmosphere at the moment, and who's the team that's riding that wave. And that is Celtic. Might be 4 points behind, but the league isn't decided after November the 22nd. What is decided is who's in the cup final, who's been knocked out the cup, and who's just lost their manager. There is a clear difference right now in attitudes. And look, Rangers fans might be typing away just now, going nonsense, this, that, next thing. Even Connor Goldson is out in the interviews giving it fucking, this about their how they're feeling and they're defeated in game. And that was a total loser, an serial losing attitude from Connor Goldson. Now, if there's any Rangers fan in the comments trying to tell me right now that there isn't a clear difference in what's going on at each side of the city, You're the one that's deluded in this case. People might call me deluded in the past, and I was giving it Shane Duffy's the best centre-half in the league and all the rest of it, but right now, we're speaking facts, we're speaking with what we can see, and that's right now that Celtic are the team that are the confident in Glasgow at the moment. Confident is the key word.
Yeah, there's definitely confidence coming from our end, and then on their end, there seems a wee bit of negativity even from the fans. I know they've been winning games, but they obviously didn't win yesterday. Oh well. They didn't win yesterday, but they have been getting away with a couple of results. You see they're conceding goals, and a result like that yesterday has been on the cards for a number of weeks now. I'm just glad that it's finally happened. It makes it an all-green final. You can't really complain with that, can you? Although I would have taken either team. I was watching that game yesterday thinking we could beat either of these teams. Yep. If we turn up and we play the way we know we can play, we could beat these teams by 2 or 3 goals because they can't defend. Both teams are not very good defensively. Granted, I know we've had our problems with defence,
but we have the best defensive record in the league, don't we?
Get the best attack, get the best defence. We just don't have the points to show it yet. But I just think this next month is going to be crucial. If we can get a proper run going, other teams will drop points. That's a guarantee because they'll be going through a mini rebuild as well with their new manager coming in the door. They've got guys that are obviously Gerrard disciples that wanted to play for Gerrard, and the minute Gerrard's out the door or that he's making moves to leave, they're suddenly not playing as well as they were last season. It shows you that the pressure's on them. I don't want to talk about Rangers too much because it's all about Celtic. We're in a final, it's all good, but I do think the pendulum is swinging ever so slightly.
It was watching that yesterday, I was thinking to myself, yeah, this is teams that Celtic can beat. This is, you look at, for example, Hibs, the winners of the game, the goal they give away, you look at that goal and I'm like, Christ almighty, that's piss poor. And there's Daisy. But, it's a piss poor goal to concede, isn't it? And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that, I'm watching, we can beat either of these two teams. And I'm looking forward to that final. It'll be a real test because, form can go right out the window in a cup final. We know that. It's all about who turns up on the day and who wants it more on the day. But right now, there's a real hunger around their team. In that League Cup final against Hibs, there's going to be a real hunger there. It's a fitting tribute to Barry Auld as well, isn't it? A Hibs-Celtic final, former manager of Hibs and obviously former Celtic player. So it'll be great. It'll be a fantastic final. And look, Rangers losing yesterday, as you said, Ryan, I think was in the cards. Would I have preferred to see them losing the league to close the gap? It's all a real laugh. I think it's going to come anyway. I'm buzzing. I'm looking forward to that final, and it's going to be a real test of characteristics for a lot of the guys in the team.
Yeah, and for a lot of players, it'll be their first final at Celtic. You look at and that's really a testament to the work that Ange has done, that he's managed to get us to a final with this team that's still very much in a rebuild. Like I've said before, I think we're ahead of schedule when it comes to that rebuild. You get 12 new players you're trying to blood in the team. And already you've got leaders in that team. You've got players like Juranovic driving the team forward. You've got players like Joe Hart at the back, Kyogo. Even the goal yesterday, Xander Clark makes a mistake because of Kyogo's pressing.
Yep.
That's because he's a character and he's a presence. Xander Clark knows how good Kyogo is, so he's worried, and then he kind of slices at his clearance. And then when you look at Jota's running on the unique angle video that came out today, the speed at which Jota runs at is incredible. We didn't have that last season. I don't think we had the motivation last season to run at players like that. Jota's just got it in abundance. It's it's a really, really exciting team to watch, and I'm loving it so far. But we still need to go to the final. We need to win. We need to tick that off. But the idea on the thought of Ange having a trophy in his hands at the end is just
Mouth-watering.
It's exciting. Yeah, it's very, very mouth-watering.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big week as well. But I think Celtic might have 4 away games in the bounce now, don't they? In December, I think we've got 4 in the bounce, and like it's fucking Sports Interactive who are doing the games here. That's what happens with FM. I'm sure that because of the rescheduled fixture now with St Mirren being moved and all the rest of it, I think we might have 4 away games in a row. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to double check after this video. But yeah, it's going to be a tough month. We know that the festive period is always tough, and hopefully we get through it with as many points as possible. But a big week. I'm looking forward to getting away. I'm looking forward to getting to Germany. Ryan, is there anything you'd like to throw in before we do end today's wee kind of mini bulletin? I had the podcast rendering, right, on the right-hand side of my screen. I had 1 minute to go and it crashed.
What happens? Bottled the time.
But anything that you've got to add before we end this?
Yeah, I feel like I mention him every sort of podcast and every video, but if Juranovic is this good at left back, how good is he going to be at right back? This guy is. I cannot believe we signed him for $2 million. That's the crime of the century. Honestly, we have absolutely robbed Warsaw for this guy. And you see him after the goal, after Forrest scores, he's celebrating like a madman. He gets it. We've got a right back who's playing for one of the best international teams in the world. That's starting. That's keeping an Atletico Madrid player, Vasalico, out of the team. You know my feelings on the guy, but I absolutely love him to bits. Yes. He's looking like a very, very assured signing and a very astute signing from Ange and Dom. God rest what's his name? Dom. But he did have a good transfer window. I don't want to talk about Dom Mackay too much because that's in the past, but I'm delighted. I'm delighted that another signing that we got in the summer is doing so well in the team, and he's only getting better every game.
Yep. Well, that'll do us. 23 minutes in. I'm sure we've got so much to cover over the next week. There'll be no podcast unless I sort out something from Germany to connect me, Ryan, and Kieran. And Kieran will be there with me, of course. So maybe we sit in the balcony and you sit in Zoom. Who knows?
There is no chance of that happening. There is no chance that's going to be happening. Let's be honest.
Not going to lie. There's not even a point in saying we could do it because me and Kieran will be out of the game altogether. Yep. You know, first trip 2 years.
Enjoy it.
I'm looking forward to it, mate. But hopefully I'll be back in the channel tomorrow and I'll be doing a video for yous before I do head off to, I believe my first stop is Manchester, and then it's Munich, and then it's Cologne, yeah, so a big journey. Right, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.